Pink Fohawk is a crass, vulgar, violent, raunchy podcast that is meant for immature adult audiences only. Content warning is available in the description.
Seattle Public Access Radio. It's that special time of year, and to help bring in the holiday season is a new addition to our station, Cooking with BoneGrog.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Cooking with BoneGrog, a holiday cooking special, spatchcocked for your pleasure. I'm your host, Tina Boz, and give a warm welcome to our special guest, my friend, but not yours, Basil Stormgrog.
Right, you don't need to
Welcome,
do that.
Boz, welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's really nice to be here, Tina. You know, we had a rough start.
Not to have you.
You fucking interrupted me, huh?
I'm sorry. I don't have people over very often.
Well, since we last talked, I've actually done quite a bit of cooking myself. I was a little embarrassed when
You
you came
have?
over. Got lots of recipes, I write them down sometimes.
I didn't peg you for a cooker.
You know, I'm trying to expand my my skill set, if you will.
I understand.
Maybe find another lady. Maybe make a nice meal for a nice woman.
It's
someday.
important to bounce back with purpose. After Gail, I'm just projecting here, but did you do most of the cooking or did Gail?
Gail did most of it, I'll be honest. I took her for granted, I sure did. She was a lovely woman and was great in the kitchen and in bed, but we don't have to go there.
We can if you like.
I've also taken up a bit of cigar smoking.
Interesting.
Mostly,
Anything you really like?
are you talking about my cigars or my dishes?
I assume they complement each other.
Oh, they do, absolutely. One of my favourite dishes that actually Gail used to make was, we called it Gail's goulash. And most of the time she'd find things around the yard or the house or maybe a bird or something that had died and just make a real nice stew.
Opportunistic.
You would have really liked her, Tina.
This day and age, food's so expensive. You know, inflation, lack of edible species around. You gotta do what you can.
Absolutely, Tina, and I...
Lack of edible species.
That sounds delicious, Boz. Really looking forward to what you have prepared for today. Do you have any holiday traditions that you like to talk about? Anything that makes you think of home, loved ones, anything that makes the holidays for you?
Well, my dad and my mom, you know, we didn't have a really fancy upbringing, but every holiday season, my father would take me down on just a one-on-one trip down to the swamps.
That sounds special.
Yeah, we would put our waders on and get the finest stick we could find and just poke around the swampy bog, really. And
Nothing like a good stick. You know, nobody really talks about that, but finding the right stick, that's an important part of childhood.
I completely agree, and I've kept every single stick that I've ever gotten with my father.
Good for you.
I've made a little a fence in the back, and
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's very sentimental. I didn't want to bring it up when, you know, that's my family fence.
And so with these sticks,
We would sharpen them with our teeth. Most of the time we'd find some bottom dweller fish, you know, the ones that really just suck up all the pollution and the nasty shit, but you know, it gives them a good extra taste.
Natural marination.
Exactly, you've got that right, Tina. So we would go pick out a fish and, you know, just stab it right in the eyes.
Right in the eyes.
The eyes, that's how
That's the best way to kill them. We just blind them, and then you can snap their neck.
quick and easy, and then you just debone them right there with your bare hands, slap them on your back, and my mommy would, my mother would, in a big cauldron, just make a nice stew.
Fish stew.
Fish stew, but I've learned
Pacific Northwest specialty.
That's right, but Tina, there's
Just a real treat.
I found that kneecap tendons are just what makes the stew a lot meatier and a lot more substantial, if you
Like
will.
a broth.
Exactly.
Like a broth, like the flavor seeping in. I
Kneecap
understand.
specifically, it's
The
a very...
patellar tendon, I hear, is one of the most delicious tendons in any body.
You really know your body cuts, don't you, Tina?
I do. My last name's Bonemeal. Our family goes back generations. Well, really only about 45 years or so. But We really specialize in understanding the bones and the connective tissues of the carcass and the flavor profiles of all things included. And then with the right bone, you can grind it up into a meal.
You know, I guess I never put two and two together.
A delicate
Tina.
flour is hard to find, but the perfect bone meal is the key. You didn't hear that here. No, wait, you heard that
You
here.
did, yeah, you did.
You heard that here.
And Tina, I'd like to ask you the same. I don't like all these twats watching me and the cameras in my
They
face.
can't see us.
Oh, bothers me.
This is radio. Prime radio.
I'm radio. Do you yourself have any traditions?
Well, back on, as you know, I come from the eastern mountains of the Bitterroots. Lived in a home with some of my family called Hoodoo Ranch. A happy place of nothing but trolls where we could appreciate each other and live in peace and harmony. And
Sounds really nice.
one of my favorite things was milking the marmots. It was my job every morning to wake up early at 4 a.m. and milk the marmots from the marmot pen. And then if they had a new whelp of marmots, they separated the males from...
Can't keep this shit together. Oh my god.
It was my job to separate the males from the females and choose which would go out to stud and which would be used for bone broth and
Was it-
fertilizer and some marmot stew. And then, of course, the females were used for more breeding and then for dairy purposes.
Now, did the male marmots, was it very obvious that they were male?
Not always, Boz. It wasn't always obvious. Not every marmot is created equally, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, Tina.
You're really just looking for the flap. For the... Some are more pronounced than others. At that age, it's hard to tell. So I'd get in trouble if I got it wrong. So I developed a keen eye from an early age. But also, I was in charge of the milking. Dairy, as you know, is hard to come by. Really, any mammal that lactates is a viable option for dairy.
I've lactated many animals before, and I completely agree.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can actually milk fish too, but I won't go.
You can.
You can.
I didn't know that. I'm from the mountain regions. You're clearly a more ocean-bound seafaring creature.
I feel like maybe the one I did find that actually, had titties.
Mame, I think we call it in the mammal kingdom.
Mummy?
Mame.
Mummy? Is that right?
I'm uncertain. I'm not formally educated past the age of 16.
I'll take your word for it. I've never been to school in my fucking life, so I'll take your word. Continue. I'm very intrigued.
That's about it. It's one of my favorite pastimes. We'd go into the cheeses and the solstices.
Marmot
a nice
cheese.
parmesan. A nice parmesan was hard to come by, but a nice marmot parmesan, delicious, rare delicacy.
Have you tried selling it? You think other people would like it?
The problem is, the marmots are hard to find these days.
Oh, right.
But there are ways around that, and we'll get to that later.
right.
Viewers and listeners, thank you, Boz, for sharing your family history with me.
Thank you. It's nothing I do often, and I'll do it for you, Tina.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move forward in our cooking special, and we're going to talk about my favorite holiday dish that came from my family and perfected by my Uncle Mel. We're going to be talking about smoked rat belly meatballs.
Oh, Tina, that making my tummy grumble.
Making my mouth water just as I talk about it.
I cannot wait.
As I said before, we like to use marmots in this, but today we're going to be using the urban devil rat.
one of my
Classically, of course, you'd go with some sort of non-awakened rodent, but in this case, living in the Seattle area, you want to go as big as you can for any sort of belly meat.
There's some big fuckers out there.
There are some big fuckers out there.
Yeah. I've seen them. I fought them before.
Yeah, actually, Boz is generous enough to wrangle us a young devil rat from the Beeline subway. Would you mind fetching that for me, Boz, real quick?
I think he's in the cage that I brought with me. Let me go get him.
You run and get him. I'll talk a bit about devil rat. Now, obviously, your younger rodents are going to be much more tender. And now with a devil rat, you do run the risk of the vast spectrum of diseases. So it's important to test the flesh before consumption. You can go to your local stuffer shack and find a testing kit if you're concerned about that. They are, of course, a nuisance.
Oh, this motherfucker bit me, Tina.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
shit.
Boz!
What?
Is that a live devil rat?
Well, you didn't tell me to fucking kill it.
Why'd
I
you
brought
bring
the
me
rat.
a live devil rat into my apartment? Jesus Christ!
Tina, you gotta tell me these things before.
Hand me that, real quick.
Oh, God, this one's big.
fucking Christ, Buzz.
I'm sorry. Fuck, Tina, you didn't tell me these things. I had him in my basement trying to fatten him up.
It's okay.
You said fresh, Tina.
It's better
Fuck.
fresh. It's better fresh. I just didn't anticipate the squealing.
Right, fuck, you got blood on my finest linens. Oh, fuck it.
Oh my god, that was so good. Shit, man. It's so hard to keep it together.
Oh, I need a beer. I need a beer.
Give me a beer.
How you doing, Buzz?
cooler down
How you
here?
doing, Buzz?
This is good.
Going back to the show, Tina. Will any rodent suffice? Or is
It
just
will, Buzz.
Okay.
It will. Good question. We've gone with the devil rat for the sheer size. They run up to about 1 meter in length, Buzz. Usually pale and wrinkled and hairless.
Well, that kind of sounds a lot like my big old heavy dick, Tina, doesn't it?
I wouldn't know, Buzz. Now another advantage
Just me.
of the hairless rodent is the skin. He's already exposed. No messy hair trimming. I just really hate a mess. You know, I don't like to make a mess. And that skin on this, you should crisp up really beautifully. Reduce into that smoky drippings that we'll use later from the smoker pan.
That sounds so good, and I know they have that really thick skin.
The extra
So,
fat.
Extra fat.
It's hard to come by. Now, Bots, you might be wondering, how do we prepare the devil rat? There's many different ways to do this, but because we're going with the smoked version and the slow smoker, you're going to want to overnight brine it.
Tina, how long are we doing this for? You said it was just going to be for a little. I'll have to stay here all night.
No, I've actually already prepared
well,
one.
why do you
It's a
have me-
little trick of the trade.
Oh, I gotcha. You're so smart.
You're going to overnight brine that with any spices of your choice, any substitutes you can find at your local stuffer shack or your convenience store, your grocery store is just fine. Algae is a good choice. Seaweed, sea salts. Prepare that by boiling in water,
Okay.
covering the devil rat carcass in a brining bag about 10 to 12 hours overnight. And then, of course, on the day of the smoking, we'll be spatchcocking that.
What does spatchcocking mean?
I'm glad you asked, Buzz. It's a great question. Spatchcocking, of course, is when you clip through the ribs off the bone. In fact, why don't you go ahead and grab that carcass?
all right,
We've
so my
already
hands-
brined. All right, so go ahead. Take these. There's some brass knuckle knife right here. Take that.
Fuck yeah, Tina. All right, here we go.
Okay, now you're just going to stab in a feel first for the ribs. You can kind of see it through the flesh. This one's a little more spindly than I like. But as you said, the skin is nice and supple, so you can see the rib cage exposed.
I see the ribs.
As you see the ribs, go ahead and take that knife and just above the head in a full plunge, try and snap those ribs next to the spinal column. And you're going to want to hit every one of them.
All right, Tina, here we go. This is for you, Gail. Wow, it's also very therapeutic.
Very good form, Buzz.
Do you do anything for bone marrow?
Later on. That's
all
a
right, I'm
fantastic
sorry, I
question.
just- I
We'll get
just
back
sucked
to
that
that
one
in
up,
just a
sorry.
second. You've gotten through most of the bones here. Here's one more. Now, go ahead and reach in. Now, the spine is clear of all the ribs. Go ahead and reach in deep into the anal cavity and then
My God,
grab
Tina.
the spine from within
Sounds
and
like-
then rip upwards.
Oh my
Upwards, boss.
What? Okay, this is... I shouldn't have asked. I should have known what spatchcocking is. I've done this, but not usually with rats anyway.
Interesting.
All right.
Into there.
It's tighter than I thought.
It is with the devil rat, yes. Marmots are a little more loose. They're a little more loose, boss.
All right, okay, Tina.
So you're gonna have
This
to
is
make a
new
tight
for me.
fist for the devil rat.
I got my knuckles in.
Okay, knuckles. The rest
All
should
right,
slip
the
in
wrist.
nice and easy.
Oh, there it goes. There
Very,
it goes.
very
There
good
it goes.
insertion. Turn the hand around, up,
feel it.
and grip. Please do not cut your fingers.
All right. What is this liquid coming out of its anus?
Don't worry about
Oh,
that.
God, Tina, I'm going to get your delicate top dirty. All
I
right,
have
all
3
right.
more. Now go ahead and wrap your fingers around the spine and lift upwards.
1, 2, 3. God, oh, my God.
Fantastic form. That is a really good looking spine. Go ahead and put that in the pan off to your left. We'll use that for brine later. Go ahead and
lick
flip
it.
that carcass over onto its back with the breast exposed.
Breast exposed. I'm sorry, this does get a little sexual, it sounds like, putting your
It
hands
does, but only in the
It
right
sounds
light.
good
You
in the
gotta
right
keep
light.
it clear ahead. This is about holiday and family and tradition.
Sorry, all right, Tina, okay, all right. Breast side up.
Go ahead and take both
Titties up.
palms on top of the breastplate and then press downward with all your force. Thank you. Very well done. Did you hear that crack? You hear that? That's the breastbone separating and severing. Now that's important because that completes the spatchcocking procedure. procedure, what it does is it flays out the carcass much like a blood eagle in old Nordic lore. And what it does is it evens out the carcass and then makes it nice, and it exposes all parts of the meat to the heat of the smoker so that it's all about heat transfer. You see? You want that devil rat carcass to cook evenly. You don't want any part of it too dry or too raw.
We're not making devil rat jerky here, no, are we?
No, we're not. No, we're not, boss.
All right, okay, that's... I wish we would have met a lot sooner. My goulash is just nothing compared to this
God damn it,
devil rat.
boss, that makes two of us. I wish we would have met years ago.
All right, Tina, come on.
All right, back to cooking.
Back to cooking here.
Back to cooking.
Back to it.
All right, so now
we
that
go.
you've spatchcocked the devil rat carcass successfully, we're going to go ahead and move on. From here, we'd go ahead and put that in the brining bag and into the refrigerator overnight. We're going to get that into the smoker tomorrow morning about 4 a.m. About half an hour of smoking per 1 pound of carcass.
This fucker's gonna take a long time.
It is, because it's a big fucking rat.
Fucking A.
From there, you're going to cook it at 150 in your smoker. I personally like redwood, something aromatic.
And you know what? Something I've learned to do as a growing up where I did. Most of the time, if we smoked something, we just dug a big hole right next to our pooping hole, but not too close.
Not too close.
Not too close.
Not too close, listeners.
You don't want to get involved with all that nasty stuff. But we would dig a giant hole.
Giant hole.
Throw the carcass in, cover it with some grass, and light that fucker on fire.
Some
and we
dirt,
just keep.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll take a very long time. But
Very
just
nice.
For the listeners that maybe.
Makes for really tender meat.
Exactly.
Makes for really tasty
Tender
meat.
to the touch.
Very good.
Just like Gail.
Of course, we're not just smoking devil rat, we're making meatballs out of it. So the rest of the cooking happens after the
I
fact.
forgot.
So, after smoking, you want to harvest the carcass. And I like to use the belly meat of the rat. Of course, we got nothing to waste. But you're going to want about 2 pounds of that belly meat. And then you're going to grind it up in your grinder. But you're also going to take the drippings pan, which collected a lot of that skin fat. And it's got a lot of that smoke flavor in there, too. And then that's going to be your natural fat, because the devil rat isn't a fatty animal by nature. And so those drippings, you're going to wait for them to coagulate, maybe put them in the fridge, grind that up with the belly meat, make a nice ground chuck out of that devil belly meat. Then you're going to want 2 large eggs. Any species is fine. They're hard to come by. But, gather them, steal them, beg, barter, and steal them. If you can't
I've
get
got
an
an egg guy too.
I've
got an egg guy. He's a pretty shiesty motherfucker, but anyone that needs him.
I find that's where the best eggs come from. Now, you're also going to need a cup of breadcrumbs. You could go with regular krill flour, but I'd stay away from algae because it tends to make the balls shrink up a bit.
The meatballs or my
It will
balls?
actually make your balls, if you are a male, shrink up a little bit. No, the rat belly meatballs will be fine.
Okay.
It will make your balls shrink.
Okay, so
If you have balls.
If you have balls. Mine are very large.
Which
so
you
maybe
have.
I have.
So maybe you'd go with the algae because depending on your problematic size.
You can laugh.
I know, it's so hard. If I say algae.
I almost drank my beer backwards.
Oh my god, I'm like sweating too.
All right, now that you got your breadcrumbs, you're going to want that half cup of Parmesan cheese.
The Parmesan.
Marmot Parmesan. If you can find it. It's hard. You can find marmot, that's my personal favorite, but any lactating mammal will suffice.
Fish milk, whatever
Any
you
sort of
got.
domesticated pet that happens to have a young whelp might have enough mammae that are lactating at the time, and then you can milk that animal.
Tina, have you ever tried breast milk?
From what species?
Troll?
I've not tried that. Trolls are very rare. They only make up about 2% of the population.
That's probably rarer than the
But
old marmot milk.
that's not to say
I
that...
feel like it's just a lot of bang for your buck, you guys got the large breasts. Oh, right, okay, so what's next on this here list?
You're all about the large
I'm
breasts,
sorry,
aren't you, Bob?
I've got Gail on. The holidays make me think of Gail, and she had some of the biggest breasts I've
As
ever
do
seen.
they, us all.
And it's good to be here talking about breasts with one of my best friends.
You seem like you're grieving, Buzz.
A little bit. I almost forgot, Tina. I brought you the hooch that you like so much.
Fucking hooch, let's drink some
it's
hooch.
it's in
Pour
the-
me some hooch, Buzz.
Here it is, Tina.
Oh, that's your
All right,
hooch.
cheers.
Here, let me give you my hooch. Here's my hooch.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you, Buzz.
There's a lot
You know-
of hooch classes around here.
You know, Buzz, what they say about grief? I lost my entire family. And what I found
I forgot.
through my own ruminations
Right.
is that people mistake grief for fear.
For being an asshole.
Maybe that too.
That too. But
Really, it's love with no place to go. So I want to take that grief and I want you to pour it into this dish, Boz.
Oh, Tina, that was fucking beautiful.
And cheers.
Cheers, Tina. Thank
This
you for
meatballs
having me
for you,
on.
Gail.
Gail loved my big balls too, and I loved her breasts. Thank
She
you.
loved your big
Thank you.
balls?
Yes.
Then we're going to stay away from that algae flour, all right?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to keep them right where they are.
Either side of my pants, but...
Either side of that leg.
You mean, right, you
Other
mean
side.
figuratively, other side.
I went into a little
We actually separate.
went into a little cockney there. I'm trying out different accents.
Yes.
I am an actress, as you know. Now, you're also going to want 2 tablespoons of
Tina,
cultured sea salt.
I think the hooch is getting to you.
Some black
Don't
beans
have
and
too
strong
much.
stuff.
It's been fermenting.
1 teaspoon of Italian seasonings, and then any sort of minced garlic replacement that you can find at your local stuffer shack.
That sounds fucking good.
Bake those in the oven.
Right.
425 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius, for about 25 to 30 minutes. Take them on out. You got yourself a beautiful meatball.
My God.
You put those into a sub of any type of bread of your choice, and you feast.
It smells incredible.
Go ahead.
Oh, fuck.
Go ahead and put that in your mouth, Boz, and tell me what you think.
Oh, hold on, the balls are so big. And they're hot big balls. All right.
Hot and big.
Hot and big, just like my balls. All right.
How's that taste?
Oh, fucking good.
How's that taste, Boz?
Oh, my God.
That's a
Tina.
Hooter Ranch special, folks.
That's absolutely incredible.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on. We're going to go to our next dish. Now, Boz, what have you brought for us today?
Well, Tina, this goulash that Gail used to make,
Goulash.
goulash, and I'll be honest, I actually don't know what's in goulash. I think, like I said, just things we'd find around the house or on the street or in the sewers or...
Opportunistic.
Opportunistic, yes, but the knee tendons, so sometimes on a run we'd...
The most tender tendon in the body.
Oh, it's a delicacy, it's overlooked a lot,
You dwarves, you know what you're doing.
We know, you know, and we soak them in a brine of sorts. It's more like sewer water, but either way.
Anything you can get your hands on. Interesting fact, devil rats don't like too much sun exposure. I digress.
Oh my God. You
So if you're afraid of devil rats or you're in an area where there might be infestations that you're worried about, stick to the sun or stay inside in the nighttime hours.
Really good advice, Tina. We want to keep people safe, and we want to keep them...
Public service announcements.
Oh, the more you know, Tina. All right, so I can't quite remember the main ingredient Gal used to put in there that...
Dig deep, Boz.
I know her father really knew it, the back of his hand. I thought maybe we could call him, but he's probably sleeping. He's a very old man.
You know what? We should probably try and call him real quick and see if he answers. I'd like to talk to, what's his name?
His name is...
Wait, okay, hold on. Gail's human. I have to think about this. Larry? Larry's good.
I like Larry.
Oh, Larry.
Larry Bloomfield.
Okay, yeah.
Well, Gail's father, his name was Larry Bloomfield. He was a very successful surgeon, and he also did a lot of...
He was a doctor.
He was a doctor.
No, I had a doctor named Larry once. I wonder if it was the same
Do you
guy.
think it was Mr. Bloomfield?
I called him Dr. Larry. I didn't know his last name.
What was his specialty?
He specialized in lady parts.
I don't think he did that, but I'm gonna give him a ring, see if he answers.
It's 2:44. It's 3:44 in Minnesota.
Working,
My
come
brother
on.
might answer. I thought
Yeah?
my brother would answer.
What up, bro?
Dave, are you working right now?
The day is over. I'm doing a goddamn thing.
Okay, do you have 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm here with my friend Sarah. We are doing a holiday special podcast episode right now.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if you'd be willing to be a character voice for like 5 minutes.
Like right now?
Like right now.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Fuck yes. Woo! All right, so
So who am I?
you are... Who is he?
Okay, so I used to be married to this woman. Her name was Gail, and she died.
He's her father, right?
Yeah, so
Right.
you'd be Gail's father, like
You'd
a
be
super
Gail's,
old...
You'd be Gail's father. He's just an old dude.
What's the
And
background information on this guy?
he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. We're trying to figure out this like family goulash recipe
I
that...
don't have a script, is what you're saying.
No, this is
Not
all
at all.
improv. All improv.
Man, you're fucking D&D shit. I swear to God. I try to do this shit with these guys, and usually I'm drunk as fuck, and it's like, I'm always
The phone is ringing. The phone is ringing. And then Dr. Bloomfield picks up.
Yellow.
Oh, Larry, it's me, Boz. I know it's been a really, really long time, but I'm with one of my friends and we're making a cooking show, and I'm trying to recreate Gail's goulash, and I really need your help. I know we haven't spoken in, well, probably since Gail passed away, but can you help?
Yeah, I've just got done watching the season 3, episode 5 of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh.
And I'm a little bit preoccupied right now.
It will only take maybe 5 minutes, Larry. And I'm sorry, Dr. Bloomfield. I know you're a really busy man, but...
Yeah, you don't have to call me Dr. Bloomfield.
Right,
That's not where our relationship has ever been. You can call me Larry. You know, I'd prefer maybe if, you know, you called me Lair. I don't know if we're there right now.
Right, Larry. Lair. We can...
Lair.
Lair Bear.
Lair Bear's that's a bridge
I'm
too
sorry,
far.
all right.
I believe, yeah.
My apologies, sir. I'm sorry, I'm just a little nervous. I know we haven't spoken in a while.
Let's get to the point, Cameron.
Right, yes,
I would like to move on to the next episode as soon as I can.
I understand. Your time is precious and a little limited. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. So what I've told the crowd is we have...
What do you mean by limited?
Just that you
My time is valuable, not limited.
Right, sir. All right, Mr. Larry. I gave the audience a little bit of a background. We have a broth that I use kneecap tendons. I know I've kind of fudged your family recipe just a little bit, but...
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a very long story, Larry. I'd appreciate it maybe if we talk about this offline.
Tell me, is this supposed to be a prank? Am I even talking to the real boss? Because right now...
Okay, if I need to prove myself, the one thing about me is my big old heavy dick, right? Right, Larry, that's me. Balls with the big dick.
I didn't know that about you.
Oh.
And maybe that's the only reason my daughter was with you.
He might be losing his memory. It's all right. Let's just cut to the chase here. What was the secret ingredient to the Gale goulash?
The secret ingredient to the Gale goulash. I don't even know if Gail knew what the secret ingredient to the goulash was. Between two big dick gentlemen, I didn't have the conversation with Gail, so I'm not sure what she ever used as a substitute. Usually, now you shut the fuck up for a second. I'm going to give you the secret. Angela Lansbury, people like to think of her as a sleuth, but I don't think people realize how well she'd fill out a blouse in a lot of those episodes. And they never really get a lot of... But there's a reason I keep watching and rewatching. And when I'm about ready to make goulash every Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m., or was it 7 o'clock? I can't remember what time zones. And it was 60 minutes. It was Murder, She Wrote. It was...
Oh my God,
and I'd have to ask Gail or my wife or anybody else. There was a point where Angela's about ready to crack the case, and I'd say, you guys need to walk out of the room. And I would take the sample. And a lot of people like to use a cream of mushroom or some other type of stock, and I prefer to use a farm fresh Bloomfield family ingredient.
Right, sir. Right.
Direct from my vast difference.
Larry.
And, even my own wife, I always felt like a little bit like I was, it wasn't cheating, but it was so much fun. And, and now maybe goulash is on the menu tonight. So I don't know how I'm going to do that for you, because the key is you got to keep it warm. It's like a good scone. You eat that when it's fresh out of the oven, and right when
maybe we'll table this recipe, and maybe we'll come back next year.
Boz, the best way to make any family dish is with real family love.
Are you insinuating that I'll use my own?
I don't have any input in this conversation, but what I would like to say is that Dr. Larry is, I think he's onto something. And I really appreciate all of your input, Dr. Larry.
Well, it's an acquired taste, that's for sure. And my wife always said so. But the idea is that, not the goulash, but anyway, so I don't know how we're going to make it work, but I can't speak. I've never had goulash without. Tell you what, I'm actually getting a little bit. Nope, here we go.
You know, I feel like you two have really connected a bridge here in this conversation.
Tina.
This has been a lot of communication that I feel like maybe hasn't happened before.
You're absolutely right. And, Tina, might I be so bold and ask if maybe next year Larry can come on and we can see the goulash being made?
I would love that.
In person.
Well, I'll tell you this. You can sit with me in the living room. You see how the sausage is made, so to speak.
You see how the goulash is made, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a joke about sausage, my dick, and anyway, I'm sorry.
Larry,
Anyway,
you're funny.
I feel like I'm explaining my own jokes, and now it's to the point where I'm tired of this conversation, and I need to get back to my TV.
That's understandable, Larry. That's understandable. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your special ingredient. Your secret ingredient,
secret
really.
is literally your own love. Thank you, Larry. And
We're surrounded by love.
So much love. And
I've grown tired of this conversation. So I'm gonna exit stage left and do my thing. Hope the goulash turns out well for you, and don't call me again.
Goodbye, Larry. I love you, but all right, bye. All right, well, Tina, like I said, I don't think I was actually prepared for the,
There's a very secret ingredient.
So I don't really know how to approach the final recipe, but I'll just maybe throw it out to our viewers to use their own secret ingredient.
Use your own secret ingredient, whatever it might be.
Whatever, breast milk or...
Cream of mushroom.
Or
whatever brings love to your family.
Love juice, I think that's very valid.
That's a good way to put it.
So that's pretty much the goulash, and, very special to be able to talk to Mr. Bloomfield again, Dr.
Larry.
Dr. Larry.
Dr. Larry. Dr. Lair.
I can't call him Lair Bear anymore. Right, I did that once before. And he literally slapped me across the face.
From one BOHD to another.
I love how you keep stopping your laugh. You just let it go. Let it
run. It's so fucking ridiculous.
You combine all those ingredients.
Oh, right, yeah. Gail would use, I would call it a cauldron. I made it myself as
cast
iron, yeah, to really heat up well over a fire. My goulash, you just can't let it sit. You have to tend to the fire. And then something I would always put in would be my hooch to give it a little
kick.
oomph, if you will.
Little hooch kick.
So,
nice and
boozy. Hooch, that's pretty much the goulash.
That's pretty much it.
And the tendons, but, if you can't find the kneecap tendons...
Any tendon will do.
Any tendon will do.
Any tendon.
Right you are, Tina, right?
Flavorful tendons, they're overlooked within the connective tissue families. Lots of people go with the marrow of the bone, but tendons also work. You don't want to waste anything.
Sometimes we'd make a pate with the eyeballs or the tongue and the gums.
I love a pate.
Yes, you just mash all that up with your bare hands, and honestly, the hooch is the ingredient.
To neutralize any viruses.
Yep, that's why my belly's so good and I'm so healthy is all that hooch. How you feeling, Tina?
I'm feeling really good.
Good. And
you know what? Thank you so much, Boz, for coming in here and sharing your family traditions with me. And thank you for listening to my family traditions. It really makes the holidays special.
It's the love, whether it's in the meal, literally, or it's made by the people that you love. That's what really matters.
And what more love can you have than the memory of smell? The memory of smell is the strongest, they say.
You're more insightful than I ever imagined, and I'm very honored to be on this show with you. And, are we actually going to eat what you brought?
No, we're not going to eat any of this. This is not safe to eat at all.
Okay.
But as you can imagine, tomorrow would be delicious.
Oh, tomorrow we'll feast.
So thank you, all of our friends, for joining us on this holiday special.
Thank you, Larry.
It's been so meaningful to us to share our family traditions with you, and we hope that it has inspired you to go out and make your own memories with your own families. Until next time,
or even if you don't have a family like me, but Tina,
you're the closest family I've ever had.
Alright,
let's go drink some fucking hooch.
Alright, Tina, let's get fucked up. Merry fucking Christmas, everyone.
Merry fucking Christmas to you.
Fuck yeah,
and happy holidays.
Cheers, twats.
Pink Fohawk theme created by Collin Ruffino. You can find links to his website in the description below, along with credits for other songs used in this episode, including We Wish You a Merry Christmas by Alexander Nakarada, SerpentSoundStudios.com, promoted by FreeStockMusic.com, Attribution 4.0 International, CreativeCommons.org. A special thanks to our guest, Sarah, as Basil Stormgrog, and a Christmas treat cameo from my brother, Dave, as Dr. Larry Lairbear Broomfield. Hope you enjoyed this bonus episode. We've got one more coming your way before Season 2 hits, so stay sharp, Shadowpunks. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Sarah, that was I was trying. I wasn't prepared for the big heavy dick. It's like so interesting. Like I was like, okay, big, like heavy, a little bean of the dick. How heavy is a dick?
What is the weight of a dick? It's so hard to weigh.
Depending on the human, I mean, yeah.
Seriously, like people are like, oh,
dick
that's
and
a big
balls.
dick. But like, how much does it really weigh? Probably not much. Like, what is like? So, what would constitute a heavy dick?
The girth and is it the balls included?
And the length.
Is it the
No,
and the
balls
length?
don't count.
No, balls don't count. Just maybe it's the
Grower, not a shower.
getting into the nuances of weighing a dick.
How do you weigh a dick?